with the top stars in the business, and now he's on the other side leading. So my question to you: this man has put in his dues. This man he's built his family. He's making a legacy for his family. Is this the Paul Levesque era in professional wrestling?
You're doggone right. It is. It's that era, man. But I think he capsulized it very humble. Saying that this is something that we're all doing. But Paul Heyman said it best. The way this man puts his pen to the company, man, is putting people on a whole nother platform. Is bringing new faces into into our homes. I think, man, it's a good era. I think who better? I mean, he's been groomed from it. Talk about a modern Joseph story that you just basically painted out. From the pit to the palace, so to speak. I mean, Triple H is doing his thing. I mean, to pay his dues, to go through I'm pretty sure it eats him alive. If you had a one-on-one talk with him with no cameras around, to not hear his name in the GOAT conversation. Come on, as a competitive person that man is, he's chomping at the bit for that spot. So to come over on this end and do something that, man, we haven't seen in a while. You're hearing the morale from the athletes, from the stars. You're hearing how they are loving coming to work now. You know what I'm saying? You're hearing that. You're hearing that. So I think that is error.
Not to mention that some of the top stars are doing pedigrees.
And they still, man, listen, and they did it so bad they still couldn't stop the final balls.
Oh, I see what you think, RC.
It is his era, but I just hate it being called Paul Levesque era. I rather with the other name that's being brought up. It's called a Renaissance era. Right. That's what Cody has brought it, a name that he's brought up, or people have brought up with him. And that sounds better for me. You can't just name it after one person because he's not the only one putting this together or being the star of it. So I'd rather just have something like the Renaissance era. That's what I like to hear. It's better sounding for me, and it capitalizes what it actually is, a Renaissance of wrestling. It's bringing it back, especially in WWE, pro wrestling, and it's being said in WWE. Vince didn't want that to happen. He wanted to be sports entertainment. I mean, that sounds good and all, but it's pro wrestling. And so that Renaissance bringing back the surprises, bring back the story, bring back camaraderie and morale and fun, and like this, bring back what we love back in the Attitude Era. And it's probably hopefully making it better than the Attitude Era, especially with the matches. And what like Damian Priest said in the press conference, numbers like they doing now is what the Attitude Era would even they dream of those numbers that they doing now. And so that's why I'm saying I'm glad it's at a good place, and Triple H is ahead of it, yeah. Right. But see, people can call it that still, but Renaissance era and bringing back what the love that most fans want, and especially in WWE back is great, and he's spearheading it with Cody. That's his champion.
And I think sports entertainment had its place back in the day when I think it had its place, but. I love this whole new man. We're professional wrestlers. I love them putting that out there, and that's the MO is going. And maybe to a certain extent, maybe Paul Heyman is the reason why we're all looking at this like the Paul Levesque era, because I mean he's the one that came out and practically said it. The Renaissance era has a good sound to it. I too agree that this doesn't, and I think that's what Triple H is getting at. It doesn't ride on one person. I think that's very humble of him. But I think I speak for all the Triple H fans out there when I say that, yes, this is the Paul Levesque era.
Listen, I have to say, man, props to him. I'm just happy that he, he's in a place where a lot of the people who kind of grew up with him, the Undertakers, the Stone Colds, the Rocks, and this, that, and the other, the Canes, some of them retired, and many other names, and some of them at other avenues at different companies. But he is rebuilding a whole different kind of thing. He is leading a whole new generation of stars. You know what I'm saying? It's like reproducing the product. And I think, it's a season for everything. And I think this is his season to get this and to run with it. Everything that they're doing now, being more collaborative and things of that nature. I like the Renaissance era. I like that too. But people are gonna dub it whatever they're gonna dub it, right? But I believe I'm just happy that he's finally getting his props. You know, not just as a wrestler, but as just a businessman and his mind for the business. I mean, Sean, you heard when you was talking to who were you talking to at NXT when y'all went to that community event? And they were talking about how if people don't understand his mind.
Man, I was talking to he was a Hall of Famer, man. I was talking to Hacksaw Jim Jugger.
So you talk about that. You talk about the mind he has for the business that we as fans don't know him personally, don't know, but I'm just happy he's getting his props. And especially after the scare he had a couple of years ago, with his family. I'm just happy that he's in a place where, when you grow up watching these guys, you want what's best for him. You may not always like it. We are as fans, right? May not always like the direction, but when things are you happy for them personally, that they're doing something they love and they're trying to do what's best. Like you said, even if it's like, 3 hours on a Monday, or 2 hours on a Friday, or if you watch NXT as well, saying on a Tuesday, it takes your mind off certain things, and that's what entertainment's supposed to do. If it's good, good entertainment, you know what I'm saying? It takes your mind off certain things, and that's what it should do,
Right.
But I think it's a good place. I think that we're as fans, we got a lot to look forward to, in the business in general. So, I this is what we do at the Champions Corner, people. We talk about the champions. You know what I'm saying? We talk about the champions. You know what I'm saying? So, Sean, if I had the water, I ain't gonna lie. If I had water up there, I would spit for you, man. But
Man,
I ain't got the water.
I think on the next episode, the top of the episode, we all just need to do that. We all need to do that, man. This man is the GOAT, man. Man, but and you brought that up, man. You brought out a good point, man, because he Hacksaw said that, man. Like the mind and the way he thinks and addresses and positions the business, man. He's moving this thing into and to be not even a part of the generation that's right now, man. Like he came from another generation, but to be so have his ear to them and not be like, I'm up here, y'all down here, this is how we used to do it back in the day. Like you don't hear nobody say that, You don't hear that.
Yeah. And I think that's good. I think that's really good. I think we got a lot to look forward to. But here at the Champions Corner, friends, and we thank you again for supporting us. We like to. This is not just a name for us. It's something we like to live by. This is where champions meet. This is where champions meet, and we talk about other champions. We talk about the greatness of other champions, and so we like to give shout outs here. We like to talk about a current champion in our lives, who we feel is very inspirational to help somebody be the best they can be. And so my brother Ron G over here, he wanna